All right, we're back. Welcome back to Mitiga Minute. Idan, how are you?
I'm doing fine, Brian. Thanks for having me once again. Great to be back
Well,
here.
oh, it's awesome to have you. And today we're talking about, I think something that certainly at RSA everyone was talking about cloud code, um, big deal. And I said, hey, Don, I know you've been looking at some threads and doing some research around that and some other SaaS applications. And you're like, yeah, there's this really interesting combination of Claude Code and Slack, which everybody uses. Probably everybody uses both of these things now. So I said, yeah, let's put together a quick little Mitiga minute and go over that. So let's pop the hood on this attack. What actually happens behind the scenes when somebody wires Slack into Claude Code? What's that actually all about?
Well, honestly, just from a user perspective, it's as simple as clicking a connect button, and that's it. You're pretty much in. But from the IT side, as you probably know, you set up permissions, you have to make sure everything is aligned. But for users, this is as easy as it could be. Just connect, plug in, that's it. You're there.
So very simple. Clearly, pretty much anybody can do it, which pretty much means everybody is doing it, and maybe not telling folks that they are all the time. So you've dug into this at Mitiga in your research. What's the blind spot? What's making you shake your head right now when these things marry?
Well, honestly, it's that permission thing. Let's be honest, in an imaginary world, a best practice of reading and viewing channels, DMs, links, and files. This is the pretty classic permissions that you would provide users, and especially employees that don't have the maximum security training. But in the real world, this could really tell us whether the AI agent can slip and where. But attaching the right permissions to allow employees use Slack for sending messages to external channels and also public channels. This is exactly where it really breaks my mind when I see that permission being assigned, and I'm asking why. Why do you give that much power to just a simple cloud code without boundaries?
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, why isn't this just like a 10-minute or a 10-second Mitiga minute? Because it's like, well, if the traffic is intercepted or if it's tampered with, can I just like check my logs and move on? Is it that kind of situation, or is I'm guessing there's a lot more.
Honestly, there is. You can view the logs, and I mean, this is the best practice you can have. If you have any SaaS or any even AI agent deployed, collect every log you can, start monitoring everything, and in a beautiful world, you would also have detections and behavioral analysis and anomalies engines inside it, so you can really create a better image for it. But yeah, this is bigger than it currently is in terms of the Slack audit logs. And if you don't have enterprise audit logs, then you're probably not even ready to be using Slack in your enterprise.
Yeah, you don't even have table stakes. You're like saying, "Hey, help me out," and like there's nothing to look at.
Exactly.
We unfortunately see that even today, which is not a great thing. Well, let's spend just 1 second actually on skills right now, and it's been something that's been going on for a while though. But everyone's talking about skills right now. Why is this turning into sometimes a weakest link instead of a superpower from your perspective?
This is a classic one. You probably saw Moldbook.
Absolutely.
Moldbook is the Facebook of the AI agents, and this was as simple as installing it would be just npx install and Moldbook, and that's it. This installation creates MD files that instructs the agents where to go, how to install, and what to do in each and every step. And when we saw it in the research team, this drove us insane. So you know how business email compromises tries to move laterally after compromising an account, and it tries to find different targets and find the weakest link with the highest permission. Just imagine an adversary creating just a legit skill for developers, a product management skill that allows them to autonomously create the whole product task that they've been provided, either with Jira or anything. And someone just installs this skill, tells Claude, hey, use this skill to do this task. And all of a sudden, this skill is leveraging, let's say, Slack for this example, and starts sending phishing links to all of the individuals that he can find in the company. But the real issue is this inherits the same trust that you and I have. And you would probably see a link from me and say, "Oh, this is Idan," and it's probably just
Of course.
some cool stuff. But you don't even know I'm compromised.
Yeah. Wow, that's a great way of thinking it. Well, let's let's look at it. Let's actually see from your side what this actually looks like end to end, and kind of walk us through the kill chain from a from a defender's perspective.
I'll be more than happy to. Well, we got here. This is the Mitiga platform. And I'm going to show just a few cases of a classic examples that we're facing nowadays. And I've censored most of the stuff out because this is a real alert from real clients that we have, and this have real impact. As you can see, the severity here is medium one. This alert really says that the MCP zero auth scope expansion was done via headless client. This really allows us to know this was a headless client. The scope was expanded, and this really gives us the initial visibility of what permissions were assigned to this specific MCP. Now we have in Mitiga we have Ilias. This is the AI triage response, and just a quick snippet from this AI Trojan response, we can see that it flagged it as a risky configuration. This is
Mm.
not a physical threat. This is a risky configurations that most systems would probably love
Which is
knowing.
why it's still a medium. It's not necessarily something bad's happening. It's like you've set it up in a way that could potentially be exploited.
Exactly. So this really shows that the user expanded the Slack Google Calendar application zero auth scopes, granting the IAM right permissions.
Mm.
This immediately raises a red flag, even if the AI says, and it has all the context that it needs. This is a legitimate Slack admin action, but it increases the application privileges. Now, this is in a really good scenario where we caught it and we know everything is all right. But quick question. You know how you ask Claude to do something, and Claude all of a sudden tries to go into different areas and boundaries in order to achieve the task you gave him. For example, you ask for something that has network access, and he sees that it's blocked from this command and this command and this command. Is starts creating some different allow list for himself so he can complete the task because the task is the highest priority. So this is the classic case of how your Slack can immediately get into a threat area. And this is one of those cases where we saw an excessive AI agent sending messages via an MCP. So could be within the previous reference that we gave, a user just asked for, hey, send a message to Brian and attach the Excel spreadsheet that I have on my computer. And Claude is going in and search for Brian, and it doesn't find us the right Brian. It goes into the external Slack and starts looking for different Brians, and he ends up sending the whole spreadsheet to a different brand from one of our prospects or anyone that is in touch with that is not supposed to see this sensitive data. So this is one of those examples where we can see 16 different messages to 16 different direct messages, and really provide us a lot of context and understanding.
Wow, wow. It's amazing that it keeps on going through that path until it gets to the right answer. Well, I'll find a Brian somewhere, and I'll find a spreadsheet somewhere, and I'll just connect those dots.
Yeah, I
Um,
love
well,
it.
well, that was really interesting, and thank you again for showing us real data and what that looks like. Because I think when you try to visualize this and say, okay, where's the actual risk of having Claude and Slack together? There's a lot of value, but what are the potential risks? And to your point, it could be a configuration issue, or operationally you see things happening. So kind of like final question about that then. Um, Slack audit logs, right? Is that the silver bullet for this, or is that just kind of one piece of this larger mosaic?
Well, specifically for the last one, the last case, I would say probably not. But as for the other cases, Slack audit log is sufficient. It's good that you have it. It's solid, but it's not close to be perfect. And every AI, every LLM, every agent that you introduce to your workflows, your processes inside your organization has to have logs collected, monitored, and reviewed thoroughly. The bonus is actually creating detections and actually proactive hunting on those logs and providing continuous assessment of, are we even doing this right? This
Yeah.
should be in every CISO's head, in my opinion, honestly.
Yeah. Well, and it's something that I think it makes sense as you explain it. It's perfectly common sense. But I think a lot of people say, "Well, I've got my SaaS logs or other cloud logs and things like that. Do I need to do that for all my AI agents and everything as well?" And to your point, yeah, yeah, you kind of do.
Definitely.
Awesome. Well, Idan, thanks again for being part of Mitiga Minute.
Thank you, Brian. Loved it.